Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of School Life Ready Talks, where every week at 7:30 we talk about all things pertaining to parenting and the daily lives of children with disabilities, ADHD, autism, and other neurodiverse conditions. And as usual, I'm here every week with my co host, friend, partner, Jen. Welcome, Jen.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. How was your week this week?
It has been a busy week. We've gotten back our emails for back to school. We've gone back to school shopping. So there's a lot of prepping, and I'm seeing some behaviors, which I know are just anxiety from my kids, but I'm sure we're gonna get through it. But yeah, we're meeting our teachers tomorrow, so it's exciting.
Where did the summer go? I can't believe
I
we're
know.
talking about getting back into school. I feel like it was just last week where we were talking about getting out of school. What
Yeah.
happened?
I know it's flown by. It's been very hot though, so I'm ready
Oh
for a
yeah.
little bit of wind and breeze.
Yeah, it's probably going to be very hot here in Georgia for a while because a lot of times, even like in mid-August, end of August, it's still
Mhm.
pretty hot. So,
That's right.
yeah. I can't believe that we are actually talking about back to school. And I'm preparing to go back to work as well because for those who don't know, I'm a pediatric occupational therapist. And during my 8 to 4, I work in the schools. And then on in evenings and on with virtual therapies and within my clinic, I do what we call medical based occupational therapy. So I am gearing my head back for the 8 to 4. So yeah, and I started thinking about, oh my goodness, what do parents need? And I've had a few parents who normally parents are normally asking me about their child's readiness, or I'll have parents who are asking about what they need to do to see if their kids qualify for special needs services. And a lot of times, parents don't know that you have to, even if you think your child has a disability, you still have to enroll them in regular kindergarten. You know,
Yes.
so you can't go and say, oh, he needs to be in a special class because he's having this difficulty and that difficulty. You have to enroll them into regular school, and then the school will sort out where your child needs to go. And there's a process, and Jen and I, we've been over the process a lot of times. So tonight's show is not about that. Tonight's show is about back to school shopping. So how has that been going for you, Jen? You have started your back to school shopping.
Yes, we got it all over with.
You're all
It's
done already?
yeah, I need to turn everything in tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
remember when I used to do back to school shopping, it was like the night before school opened. So if school was open in the Monday, it would be the at
Sunday.
most the Saturday night. At most.
No, they don't let us do that here. We have to turn everything in ahead of time.
Oh, for
So,
your school district, you have to
yes.
bring the stuff in. So
Yes.
what are some of the stuff that you bought so far for your back to school?
Well, special things would be pencil wise. This year I did splurge a little bit. I did buy the regular size pencils, but I know that my oldest son thrives better with the thicker ones.
Hmm.
So I did also splurge on the thicker super glues. Sorry, not super
Ooh.
glues, glue sticks. Because
Oh,
I know
okay.
that my child thrives the most with those items. But yeah, nothing really too special. I kind of like for him to go and see how he's feeling and what the teacher has, and then I do the best that I can to provide. I did buy some stickers as something that they can earn. I bought them punch cards from Hobby Lobby. And so I plan on getting her like different candy treats so that she can, use it for the classroom.
Okay, so you're one of those parents who buy stuff and give it to the classroom. Not they're not
Yes.
individually for. Does your school district do that where parents buy when they buy and just give to the classroom, or that's something that you do where you feel like you want to help to provide for the classroom?
Well, we do have a suggestions list, just items that the teachers would love. Uh, and I do the best that I can to help provide because I know that if it's a smooth day for her, it'll be a smooth day for Williams, or sorry, for my son as well. So that's just kind of like my motto is I want to make it easy for everyone.
Okay, so your with your focus, did you with your school back to school shopping? It sounds like you were more focused on your older child's needs, um, or am I like misinterpreting it? Did you? What was most of the stuff you bought was for your older child who's diagnosed with autism, and not for your younger child who's diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia? Did you shop with both in mind and bought things that they both need and things that they need separately?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I mean, our district provides our school supply list when we get our meet the teacher emails and when we can go in for open house and just various things like that. So it's pretty much the same copy and paste. And the other items I do provide for both teachers. So I try to keep it very equal. So if I, bring in some flowers for one, I'll take one to the other flowers, vice versa.
Oh, okay, okay. So for the most part, you said pencils, stickers, glue sticks, um, just everyday things that they use. Did you
Yeah.
buy any writing paper?
So this year he is going to use a typical college rule notebook paper. So
And
we are
that's your
transitioning.
older child is using that?
Yeah, and then my youngest one, they're not using anything special. I know that last year we still had ones that had a room for pictures, but this year he's going to second grade, so I guess they're not drawing pictures in their journals.
No, they're not drawing pictures. They're not drawing pictures. I'm surprised they even had it in first grade because typically it's like kindergartners, they have that square box at the top and then you have lines on the bottom. And then the kids would draw pictures and then write about their pictures. So now he's probably just going to be just doing just writing, no drawing pictures per se. So the school didn't recommend any notebook for second grade, no special anything
No,
for second grade.
no, everything is pretty typical. We do go to a pretty well-funded school district, so they provide a lot of the materials.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, a lot of times the schools have writing paper for the kids, and I've seen all kinds of writing papers. And we, as OTs, we use different writing paper depending on the child's writing skill level. We have paper with visual cues that help them with the sizing of the letters. So you might have
Oh,
those
yeah.
tri-ruled paper for the early years. And then for the later years, if the kid is having difficulty with, say, spacing between the words, we have, or within the words as well, we have space paper, or they look like little graph, and
Right.
the kid would write each letter in each small graph square space. So we have a lot of different writing paper for different levels. And unfortunately, I'm not able to say what paper would benefit your any particular child.
Right.
However, if anyone wants to email me at schoollifeready.com, and if you can just send me a picture of what your child writing looks like now, and that way I can better help you with what paper would help in case, just in case your child is having difficulty with writing, or if you want to help to improve your child is writing fine, but you want to improve it, or you just want it to be a little bit more legible or more neat, then I can help you out with that. That is kind of my special skills. I can just, I'm very good at finding the right paper to help a child with better handwriting. It's like we, as school-based OTs, like we do a lot of handwriting improvement every day.
Right. Yeah, I remember the ones that you gave us for both of the kids, I think, was the flower ones. And they
Oh,
would go up the flower and then give it, put it down to the roots. And so that was,
okay, okay,
yeah.
yeah, that I think that's called this. I don't remember the name of the paper, but I know it's the one that has like the clouds and the
Yes.
flower, and yeah, because that one is the one that really helps with sizing. But for people who are just going to kindergarten, if you're just going into kindergarten, you don't have to go crazy with using any composition books. Just use lined paper. So just one line, and you just want to help your kid practice with just placing the letters on the line.
Right.
That's all for people going into kindergarten right now. Do not use the regular composition books. I'm warning you all, do not send your kindergartner to kindergarten with composition books. You know, those regular composition books with the faint blue lines?
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Don't send them. You can send them if you want to use composition books in kindergarten. You want to use the primary composition books. They're called primaries, composition books, primary. The word primary is written on there. So those are good. Or you just get lined paper. It might be like just, you might have it will have the square for the pictures. It will have the square for the pictures, and then you just have lines. You might, just bold black lines going. There's no small faint lines. So normally big enough space in between each line. And guys, note that the bigger the space, if you have a wide space, when your child is just learning how to write, they're going to take up that entire space. So I normally tell parents and teachers to maybe add another line within those lines, because if it's too big, your child is going to end up writing. Kids normally tend to write bigger when they're just learning.
Mhm.
However, you want them to start going down in size and being able to fit what they're writing within it's more like the wide rule space. It's a little bit wider than the wide rule space, but it's not that big old gap, this big old white space that we see between lines. So just keep an eye out on that. So that's my little tip for the composition paper. And for writing, as Jen was saying, if your kid is starting kindergarten, start with what we used to use back in the days, the jumbo pencils. Or there's a brand, I cannot pronounce it. It's Trichondra.
Yeah, those are the ones that we bought, and those
Yeah,
can be pricey.
yeah,
Um,
Ticonderoga. But you want to get, those are good because they're not round. They're like a hexagon type um shape. They're like curved, they have little curves. So those are very good to help the children be able to better hold and manipulate the pencil. So and it doesn't matter your grade level, because you bought those Ticonderoga pencils for your older child as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody can use them. Any age level can use them. If you can't afford those pencils, you can buy the regular pencils, and you can buy cheap foam grips. They're just made out of foam. Like you can get a pack of 20 for like $5, I think, or less. No, pack of 20 like for $5. So what you would do, those foam grips, you slide it onto the regular pencil, and those are the cheaper ones. So don't go crazy and get, because pencil grips can be expensive.
Yes.
Pencil,
Ridiculously expensive.
and the kids lose them quickly, because the teachers are not, it's hard for teachers to keep up with the pencils.
Right.
So if you notice, you'll go into the class with when you first start, you'll see a whole host of pencils, and as time goes on, they're dwindling down. So if you can afford those expensive ones, and plus if you don't want to lose them, go ahead, get the regular cheap old pencils, and then buy the cheap pencil grips to put on it. And then make sure that your child has their own little pencil box or pencil pouch.
Right.
They like the boxes better, because they can easily stack them, put them away. They put their names on them, or they keep it in their desk, or the teacher will have like a space wherein the teacher keeps them and then gives the box when they're ready to use them. So yeah, so that's it for pencils. And also for crayons, if your child is having difficulty holding a crayon with their fingers, you want to get like the triangular shaped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the triangular shaped crayons. You don't even have to get the jumbo ones, because a lot of times I notice like the kids they want to fist the big jumbo ones.
Yes.
So go
Yes.
ahead and get the triangular crayons for your kids, and just give them put it also, because I can tell you more than likely the class is going to have those little skinny ones. But for a lot of kids, especially children who already have developmental delays and may have fine motor delays, the skinnier the writing utensil, the harder it is to manipulate. You would think it's smaller, it's easier to manipulate. No, it's harder
Okay.
to manipulate. So you can do that. Or if your child does not yet have a pencil grip, a good pencil grip, which should be their thumb and their index and their middle finger. If your child is not yet using those three fingers to manipulate their writing tools, then you might want to get the regular crayons, which they're a little bit fatter. They're maybe about 1/2 inch in diameter.
Mhm.
Get those and break them into small pieces. So guess what, guys? Broken crayons still color. So be okay with breaking those crayons. Though a lot of times people say, oh, even the teachers sometimes like, oh, I just bought those, you're gonna break. But yes, we have to break them because it helps the kids develop their hand muscles. So
Right.
we break the crayons so that they can develop that grasp that they need for writing. Because if you think about it, if your child is using a fist to manipulate their markers and their pencils, they're not going to be effective writers.
Right.
In order to be able to write properly, you have to eventually be able to separate the two sides of your hand. You have to be able to separate the pinky and ring finger side from the thumb, index, and middle finger side. So that's why it's important. That's why we always make sure that we try to develop we call it like a tripod grasp, but it's not necessarily doesn't have to be a specific tripod, as long as they're using their thumb with other fingers and not the whole fist, right? So if your child is struggling with that, and as the year goes on, and as again, I am here for you guys. If you have any questions or need any tips on anything, just email me at schoollifeready@gmail.com, or you can go to the School Life Ready website at schoollifeready.com. Okay, so I'm here for you guys. So we talked about paper, type of paper to buy, and if you guys need assistance with different types of paper than you're seeing available in the stores, let me know. And we talked about the pencils that are better,
right,
and crayons, markers. We spoke about those. Now, scissors, like in getting into kindergarten specifically, and during elementary, the early years, kindergarten and first grade, there's a lot of cutting, pasting, gluing, coloring. That's a lot of the fine motor that we have in the early years. So you want to use, this is a brand name, and it's one of these things wherein I don't know how to describe them, so I end up using the brand name. I am not necessarily saying this is the brand you must buy, but they're called Fiskar scissors, Fiskar, wherein it has one small loop for your thumb, and then a bigger loop that you would put your index and your middle in, or some kids put their middle and then they leave the rest the index on top. But those scissors give the children a better chance to control the scissors while cutting. So if you're going to buy scissors for your child, buy that type of scissors for their kindergarten and first grade years. If your child has weak hand muscles, they have scissors that are called, they have loop scissors, but the loop scissors, it's just a loop and you squeeze it. But most kids don't need a loop scissors unless the child has like a severe physical disability. They might need the loop scissors, but they have scissors that have, and Fiskar has some of these scissors too. They have like a little knob, and I did give your older son a pair, I remember, Jen, wherein you just move, it's a little lever, you just move it and it keeps the scissor open.
Yes,
So
I know exactly which ones. Yes.
Yeah. So when the child is going to cut, they don't close the scissor all the way and then have a hard time opening the scissor back up because their hand muscles are weak. So those are called self-opening scissors. So you can definitely buy those as well. And the self-opening scissors, you can give them to your typically developing child. It doesn't make them any less able to cut,
Yeah.
but it definitely will help a child who can't cut.
For sure. I know that I usually buy them like by the age. So I listen to like what the packaging says. So I buy them by age group.
Okay, I didn't even know that. I know they normally says like blunt tip, like, so the tip of it is round, as opposed to pointy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they normally say child safe, but I didn't know that they came in ages. So that's
Yeah.
good to know. That's good to
Yes.
know. So also left-handed parents buy left-handed scissors. The right-handed, well, this is the thing. Most tools are designed for right-handed people.
Right.
So left-handed people have to make adjustments, but luckily they sell left-handed scissors. So buy left-handed scissors for your child.
Okay.
If your child is left-handed, buy the left-handed
I
scissors.
didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes, they're left-handed scissors, and there's some scissors that are universal. So when you go to buy, if your child is left-handed, um, make sure that it says left-handed or universal. Now, if your child is right-handed, do not buy the left-handed scissors. They don't work well for right-handed people.
Right.
So make sure
Can
that you
imagine.
look to see if the scissors is left-handed or right-handed when you're doing your back to school shopping. So definitely do that. Another thing we think of in fine motor is shoelace tying.
Oh,
Um,
we still
Parents,
have not mastered that.
okay, so you and I need to get together on that, Jen, so we can get. So who hasn't mastered it? Your younger one?
Neither one.
Oh my goodness. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. All right. So we
And then
need
the
to.
oldest one, we're out of the shoe size where we can buy the flopped ones. They're all, shoelace ones. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's been a thing this summer.
Now they have, you know what? Now I see them. Well, they have a lot of like they're called slip-in shoes. And on TV, guys, I swear it looks so easy. But in reality, a lot of these slip-ons are hard for our kids because like the fabric sometimes gets stuck behind and they don't have the fine motor skills to pull that little tab in the back. And
Yes. And
so
yep. Yep. And so I think that many children just want to wear Crocs because it's easier and I understand, but we do have to teach them these important
yeah, and
skills.
if your child have any kind of motor delays, like especially gross motor delays, if you have a child who is, who frequently trips and falls, or do not put them in Crocs and sandals. Try to find sturdy sneakers or tennis shoes to have your child wear to school. Now back to the laces. They're cute shoes in kindergarten and first grade. They're cute elastic lace shoes. They're cute Velcro. They're still pretty cute. Velcro shoes are cute up to a certain grade level, in my
Right.
opinion, up to a certain grade level.
Yes.
So you want, if your kid is in kindergarten where a child is not expected to tie their shoes. So, and parents, teachers are not stopping in the hallway to tie your baby's shoes when the laces are flapping all over the place. So if your child cannot tie their shoelaces, please put them in shoes without laces. And you can practice tying shoelaces so they can learn to tie shoelaces before you put them in shoes with shoelaces. Because the problem is when their shoelaces go untied, it's a tripping hazard for them. It's a tripping hazard for other people walking in the in the hallways. Also, when they go to the bathroom, those
Oh,
bathroom floors, there can be all kinds of stuff there, and the laces are touching on the bathroom floors. I have a tendency to tie kids' shoelaces.
Hmm.
It's just a thing that I do. But I guarantee you, teachers are not going to be doing that. They just can't. There's too much going on. They can't stop and tie every kid's shoelace. So, to help the teachers out and for the safety of your children, if your child cannot tie their shoelaces, try to find shoes that don't require them to do so. That's just my suggestion. Like, look for shoes that they can um, put on by themselves and can remain securely on their feet. So
Right.
whether the Velcro or the elastic or even those slip-ons, and try to stay away from the Crocs and the sandals, especially if you want your child to be participating in PE, which is very important because I
Right.
think PE is mandatory, right? Your kid is going to do PE classes and your child has recess on the playground, hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully. So yeah, no sandals, no Crocs. I know they're easier, but no sandals, no Crocs. Um, and for their clothing, for their shirts, we have a lot of kids who the parents love to put them in like button down shirts because they look so cute. And the uniforms do have button down shirts, some of them. But if your child is wearing a uniform, hopefully they'll make you wear those golf shirts. What are those shirts called with the
The
collar?
dry fit,
Well, the dry fit, but if it's a uniform, it's normally what's
the
it's
collared ones.
the collared shirts. There's a name for them. It's slipping me right now. So maybe the collared shirts. The oh my goodness, what are those shirts called? I forgot. But anyway, yeah, some of those golf shirts, they can wear those if it's a uniform, hopefully. Belts, if you know your kid isn't fully well, they're potty trained, but they're not yet 100% mastery, because a lot of kids going into kindergarten, they haven't really fully mastered I have to go to the bathroom right now and this is a good time. Because they're in a new setting. There are new rules. um they're probably scared to say, hey teacher, I need to go to the bathroom, right?
Right.
So they wait till it's really, really close and then they're going to go, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Or some of them do have accidents, right?
Right.
And it's especially if it's just kindergarten, you're just going into kindergarten. So try not to put them in belts, because pulling a belt is hard for the young ones who are just going in. If you know your child has poor fine motor skills, like dress them in a manner where they can easily manage their clothing. Also, the jeans with those buttons, those metal buttons,
Yes.
those
Go
are
to toss.
hard.
Yes.
Those are hard. So try to think, if your kid is not wearing a uniform, if you can dress them in slacks, elastic waist things, at least until they get used to the school routine and become more independent with their bathroom skills, as well as more independent in advocating for themselves to say, hey, I need to go to the bathroom, or, hey, teacher, can I get help with this? Try to dress your child in such a way wherein they can be independent.
Right.
So that's it for the clothes. And for some of our kids, try, if you know your child has sensitive skin and they are having itchy skin because of the tag, there are a lot of tagless clothing now available. Do you buy clothes with tags, Jen?
So I do remove the tags.
Okay.
And then we have others that just don't have them.
Yeah. A lot of clothing now are they're just doing a stamp in the back, it's not raised, because a lot of times when we cut the tags, we have to be careful how we cut them as well, because when we
Yes.
cut them, we end up making the edge where it attaches more sharp,
Yep.
and then it can be a problem when we cut them. So what you can do, like, you can cut the tag around to give it a curved edge, instead of cutting it all the way down to the seam where it's
Yeah.
sewn into the fabric. Just cut that same tag, cut it down low, but curve around the edges, so that because a lot of time it's those sharp edges that keep
Yeah.
sticking the kids. But if you can get tagless, that's best. So tagless shirts is good as well. For clothing, socks. A lot of our babies do not like this socks and shoes, but they have to wear them. So watch for the ankle socks that are like tight around the ankles. And if your child is going into kindergarten, you kind of know what your child likes. So just try to buy them what you know they'll be comfortable in. So for some kids, the tube socks are fine. For some kids, they don't want that. For some kids, they just want the socks that just goes over their foot itself and doesn't even come up to their ankle. So whatever is your child's needs, but at least you know there are options, right? There are all different options for socks. So choose the one that you know best suits your child's needs. So that's it for clothing. Did I miss anything on clothing that you can think of, Jen?
No, I think that you hit all of the marks. The shoes, um, them having to wear socks. I know that that's a big issue. Especially when they've been wearing Crocs all summer or sandals, it's hard to get them back into socks. It's a big battle every fall here. Um, and about school supplies, the scissors, I think that that's amazing advice. Very useful.
Very, very good. All right. So we covered the fine motor for in class. Guys, also, I don't know if we're doing paint, are we still buying paintbrushes and paint sets? They don't really do that a lot. The teachers normally provide the paint. I was just going back to fine motor for a little bit.
Hmm.
Okay, so we did clothes, we did fine motor. I'm trying to let me cheat and look on my list of um, things to cover. Okay, we didn't talk about the backpack. Um, Guys, please, please, if your babies are in kindergarten through second, we don't need no big old. As a matter of fact, I don't believe in backpacks anyway.
Yeah.
Anymore. Back on clothing a little bit, guys. Guys, when your babies are just starting out kindergarten, send a change of clothing.
Always
Send,
do, please. You
uh,
never
uh,
know.
send a change of clothing. Make sure there's a change of clothing always, because things happen. Things happen in those first few weeks of school. So make sure you pack. Okay, so backpacks, you want to watch the size, right? If your kids are in, what are they putting in the backpacks anyway? They might have their little lunch box in there for those who are not doing the school lunch, or snacks. A lot of class still do snacks. So snacks, you're gonna pack snacks. You might put it in the lunch box. Um, the lunch box will be in the bag. There should just that, and maybe their one little composition book might be in the bag. What else is really in a kindergartner bag? As far as I'm concerned, they could leave big book bags home. But if
Yeah.
your kid is bringing a book bag, just make sure that it's the right size. You want wide straps over their shoulders,
Right.
regardless of the age. You want some nice wide straps, and you don't want to put a lot of load in it. I've seen petite kids who are in higher grades hunched over like this, walking on this big old backpack on the. Find a way to either have your child keep the textbooks at school, or I don't know if you could do books online and then work with the teacher, but there's no need for kids to be carrying heavy backpacks. And a lot of the schools do not allow children to bring roller bags. They can't do the roller bags. They ban the roller bags. I guess it messes up the floor or something. I don't know. Or it makes too much noise. I don't know. But a lot of schools don't allow roller bags. But your school might have a different policy. If the school allows roller bags, I would say go with the roller bags for the upper classes, but not a heavy backpack at all. For your lunch boxes, make sure that they're easy to open. Pay attention to that. Check them out before you purchase them. Just try to see if you're having a hard time opening that lunchbox. Best believe when your child goes to school, they're going to have a hard time opening their lunchbox. So just test out. Don't always look for what's cute, but look for what's functional and easier for your child to manage. And that's their book bag, that's their clothing, that's their lunch boxes. Always do that. Check that out. We know now, guys, we know now that drinking water helps to reduce anxiety in children. Drinking water helps their brain to be more alert and more functional. So schools are allowing your children to bring in their water bottles and having it on their desk.
Oh, yes.
And remember too, since COVID, like nobody really uses the water fountains anyway. I never understand, because I would see kids putting their mouths on the water fountain. So we don't want our babies to be dehydrated. So yes, go ahead and send those water bottles. They're very important for your children. Being hydrated. We as adults, we need to drink more water throughout the day as well. And our kids need to drink more water. We have children going all day. The only time they have a little water is when they're coming in from recess. You'll see them like go to the water fountains and stuff. So definitely be okay with your child bringing the water bottle. Now, I know those things get lost, and you got to check the lost and found every so often. Parents, make it a habit, check the lost and found, because your children are going to leave if they're kids, and it's a lot to keep up with. So you
It
as
is
parents,
not. It's just a sweater, and it never comes back ever. It's like I'm giving away sweaters. Every sweater I buy, it's to
you
give.
have to check the lost and found every so often. The school will have, oh my gosh, I've never seen, you could go shopping
No,
in
I
the lost
know.
and
It's
found.
ridiculous. You get like water bottles and like really nice ones too, like some Stanley water bottles and lunch boxes and just various different things.
And
It's
if you don't check, there are parents who will actually come, and because it's just out there. Teachers don't know who they belong to. So if a parent walks up and say, oh yeah, that cute water bottle is mine, staff is just going to give it to them. We can't say it's not yours. We don't know, right? So then
yeah.
it's important. Oh, label, label, label. Label your kids' clothing, that your if it's a jacket, label the jacket. The water, but label everything. Use a Sharpie or get a label sticky thing and label all of your children's things that can be lost. If you label them, you don't have to worry about somebody coming and getting it in lost and found, because
Hmm.
at least the teacher will go, oh, this is for Johnny Brown. Okay, I'll hold on to it. He's in my class, right? But if it's something with no name, you're going to lose it and you're not going to get it back, especially if you don't keep checking lost and found when you notice your child comes home and something is not there. So, oh my gosh, the lost and found is full because people are not labeling their children's things. So on the school supply list, write labels.
Label maker.
Or a label maker or something, because you're going to need to label your child's belongings. So definitely do that. Now, last what we're going to talk about is the sensory things for our children with sensory processing, especially the sensory input that they need to calm and organize themselves. So, what's your favorite to send with your boys, Jen? What do they take to school that helps them sensory wise?
So we have these rules that are flappy, and some of them have the popping things on them, and so they could just flap them on their wrist, but they're
Oh,
actually a ruler.
mhm.
So it kind of they enjoy it, and that's
I
something
like
they
those.
look forward to.
I like those, and they don't really make although you're flapping it on, it doesn't really make a lot of noise, and it gives them the sensory input that they need. For some reason, it really helps them to be more alert and
Yeah.
more grounded and more focused. So definitely that, or you can also, this is kind of gross, but a lot of our children, especially children who suffer from anxiety, they chew on their clothing. I mean, they're typically developing kids, but they chew on their clothing, or they'll chew the pencil down to the smallest knob. So if your child is a chewer, you can go ahead and get jewelry. So it's jewelry, but it's for chewing. And it's
Hmm.
like more than likely it's a necklace or a bracelet. And you can find them on Amazon or you can find them on maybe even on Walmart websites or Target. So they're like just little necklaces, and the kid will be doing their work and they're chewing on their necklace. But that's what it's for, and
Hmm.
it's not inappropriate. It's just that yes, they might be touching what they were just chewing on. But guess what, guys? In school, especially with the younger grades, there's a lot of that going on. Children mouth their fingers. They might also be chewing on things. So if your child needs it, go ahead. It's acceptable for them to wear jewelry. So sometimes it's a bracelet. They also have jewelry that's a pencil topper. You put it on top of the pencil,
Hmm.
and the kid, instead of chewing the pencil, because people might not know this, a lot of kids chew their
That
pencils.
is so gross.
Yes, a lot of kids chew their pencils. Oh my goodness, I've seen it over the years so often. So you can get ones that go on top of the pencil. So so that's sensory. Also, headphones, noise canceling headphones. Your child can bring those to school. Children use headphones a lot in
Yes.
school. Just make sure again you label um the headphones. If you have a special headphone that's dual purpose where it's noise canceling, but you can also use it to access the computer, that's fine. If you just want noise canceling, that is only when they're feeling overwhelmed or they have to be prepared for a fire drill, or they're in situations where it's really loud and they need it, then go ahead and buy those. Just remember to have open communication with your teachers, letting them know that your child needs to use these headphones. And teachers will do anything that's going to help them have a smooth day and your child have a smooth day. So definitely, headphones are good sensory items to have. So we said, yeah, we have the fidgets, we have the jewelry and chewing materials, and we have headphones. Those are just some of the sensory things. Again, if you have any questions about sensory things that your child might need, then again, email me at schoollifeready@gmail.com or visit our website and you can contact me through that. The website is schoollifeready.com. So that's it. So we covered a lot of things. I'm just going to tell you the list. As a matter of fact, I have a list for you. If you want me to email you that list, you send me the email, I'll send it to you. But I'm just going to, before we sign off, I'm just going to go down the list of everything that we spoke about. So if you have pen and paper, you can just jot down the things that I recommended for you to buy for your back to school. Oh, for your older kids, your middle schoolers or your high schoolers or upper graders who have difficulty with organization, you want to start off with maybe like a 5-subject notebook. So everything is in one place, and that 5-subject notebook is normally has tabs, like colored tabs. You can go ahead and you can even glue in a colored sheet of paper to say what subject goes where, and do that code. Like in the green section is for math, in the red section is for social studies. Or you can buy folders that are different color. So use a color coded or number coded system to help your child organize their work. Because what's going to happen if you don't do this, your child is going to have a book bag stuffed with worksheets. And I mean literally stuffed, because they're done with one class, they're just going to stuff it into the book bag. They're not going to have it sorted. But if you have that color folder system, you can help them organize their worksheets, because teachers use a lot of worksheets, and it's hard for the kids who already have attention issues and organization issues. It's hard for them to keep up. So do that for your older kids to help them organize. I'm going to share with you the back to school shopping list. So for the shopping list tonight, for clothing and uniforms, we say tagless, seamless, or soft fabric shirts, elastic waisted pants or shorts, none of those stiff buttons, and no belts. The list has a few more on there. I will be more than happy to send it to you. We also talked about lunch and snack time, to have easy open lunch containers, and your squeeze bottles or flip top water bottles. You can have that in the bag, and that's going to go depending on what the teacher wants. Now, if the teacher allows your child to keep the bottle on the desk, I would say get a little piece of Velcro you put one side of the Velcro on the desk and the other side at the bottom of the water bottle. And that way it will stick and we won't have to worry about water bottles falling off desks. So that's just a little tip. If you're going to send and please go ahead, send a water bottle. The kids need to be drinking way more water and they're not getting the opportunity to do that. Drinking the water is very helpful. Then for fine motor tools, we talked about the thick pencils or the Ticonderoga My First pencils, or using pencil grips on regular pencil. We talked about the writing paper. And again, if you need more specifics on the writing paper, email me, please. And we talked about the scissors, left-handed, right-handed, self-opening scissors. And sensory chew toys. And we talked about chew toys, not toys. Oh my God, sorry. Jewelry. Chew toys is what they're kind of chew toys, but I don't really call them chew toys. So we have the jewelry for them to chew on. And what else did we say for the headphones, and the headphones. And some people, I didn't put it on the list because it's a little bit more invasive, but we have lap weights, like little lap weights that you could put. I think they're like weighted blanket, but they're not a full-on blanket. They're just like a square, like maybe might be like a 3 pound to 5 pound square that the kids keep in their laps to help them. You can buy that for your child if you know your child already needed it. So we have this list available for you. I will be sharing it on my different social media. So I'll be posting that shortly so everyone can just have that to use as a little guide to help them. So that is our show for tonight. So Jen, what's your takeaway from tonight's show?
I guess this is just a little bit of feedback that I'd like to provide is not every school district lets you take stainless steel water bottles, so make sure that you are in compliance with whatever your system would like. Another thing is headphones. You don't want them, if they plug into the computer, to be so sound sound blocking, because a lot of the times you still need to listen to the teachers and what's going on around them. And I've had a situation with my child that was ignoring his teacher, and we had to change those out quickly. So just a few things to keep in mind.
Those are always great tips. And guys, Jen and we're here for you. If you email us, we will be more than happy to meet with you to discuss anything that you need. We're forming our parent coaching session soon. So if you'd like to hear more about what our sessions are about and how we do it and how we can support you, we will be here to help you out. So definitely reach out to us at schoollifeready@gmail.com, and so that we can start helping each other. So Jen is always here to help. As you can tell, she's been at this for a while and she can really, really help support other parents. And I want for other parents who are coming on to be able to help other parents. And I want for professionals, if you are a therapist, if you're a psychologist, a social worker, a teacher, a special needs provider, definitely email us too so we can have you come on or be a part of our parenting coaching sessions to help other families. So I will see you all next week. And for now, good night, you all, and I'll see you next week.
Good night. Bye.
Bye, guys.